Daisy is a professional secretary, licensed counseling psychologist, author of 3 books, and 2019 PIA award winner, extroverted, sociable, talkative, affectionate, person-oriented, and a fun-loving person, a successful and experienced secretary by profession for almost 30 years, and a counselor by training with a wealth of people skills gained in office management and practice. A member of 2 professional bodies, among others, KENASA for secretaries and KCPA for counselors. Currently pursuing a Master's of Science in Psychology, and author of 3 books, Bible Basics of Serving as an Usher in Church, The Inspired and Indispensable Secretary, and the latest publication, The Biological Father Wound, Enjoying 3 Happy Lives, a Pleasant Wife, a Good Mother, and Meaningful, Impacting Other People's Lives. Daisy, you can have your camera on, and we're happy to host you today. I know last time it didn't work, but we're happy to host you now. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak on a very short notice, but I'm glad that you are here. How does it work for you? You are a secretary, you are an author, you are a counselor. How do you do all those 3 things at a go at the same time? And now you're still doing a master's.
Thank you, and you have added me a 4th one. You are harassing me more. I don't think I was so prepared for this, but thank you so much for the opportunity. I usually feel so honored when you call me to be one of the panelists. Whether I have been informed earlier or not, I am usually very thankful. I've enjoyed the first speakers. Let me start from there. Since 2:30, when Monique started speaking, that's a very nice selection. And I really appreciate that you are able to bring us together so that we are able to learn from women, empower fellow women, encourage fellow women, and at least boost each other for future lives.
Yeah.
For me, being a counselor, a secretary, a mother, and many other things,
yeah,
it is just a matter of one of the things that keeps me going and makes me do all those responsibilities is planning. I am passionate about being a secretary. I'm passionate about being a counselor. I'm passionate about school. I'm also in school. And I'm just passionate about everything. And that's what keeps me going. So I don't find it difficult to do what I'm supposed to do. I plan, and then it just falls in. In the morning when I wake up, I prepare, I go to work. When I'm at work, I do the work. Then I have sessions with my clients. I do my therapies. And then at home, I also do what I'm supposed to do, and that is it.
3 in 1 roles at the same time. But I'm sure there's something to do with being a secretary that you love being one. What was it that made you be a secretary? Then later you decided, you know what, I need to add counseling. You know what, I need to add this. Like, is there something that really made you add all that into your career?
Yeah, when I started doing my secretarial when I was a bit young, I was 20 years old after school. And you feel so passionate that you really want to be a secretary. But by and by, as you grow up as an adult, after serving people, after, when you are working as a secretary, you interact with many people, different. So when you work with people, you realize the gaps, the needs, men and women, young and old. You realize that those gaps. And then you share with people and you realize there is that one thing that human beings need. And that is, we need to put our psychic together. And that's why I decided for us to be able to sort out or be able to listen to other people, then it is important for me to go back to school and learn something else. Secretarial, there is a degree in secretarial, but I did not want to go for it. Instead, I chose to do counseling because it cuts across. It cuts across. So that's why I went to do. That's why I went to do counseling. You'll bear with me, kidogo too. Yes.
Yeah. So it means that, okay, it means that with the counseling, it came maybe from experience that you are having that required to have the counseling skills. Was it something accidental that put you into that space? You realized I need to be doing counseling.
No, not really accidental. Okay, we can, I don't know if accidental is the word, but for me to go and do counseling, it is a need that arose. When you speak to, when you talk to, you speak to men, you speak to women, you interact with children, your boss, you realize there is a need. There is something that is lacking. For example, when people come with mood swings in the morning in the office, there is this person who, when they come, another day they are so happy, they're really laughing so loudly. And then another day they are so moody, they don't want to be talked to. Such a person, you realize you need to understand them, just know the underlying issues for you to be able to deal with them. And then there are those people who, they have issues with their marriages, they have issues with their children. There are those things that now they make you start wondering, how can I be able to understand this person? And why I'm not calling it an accident as such, it's because I now made up my mind, because I learned it is psychology that will make me be able probably to understand this, to understand myself first, and then next to be able to understand this other person and be able to help them maybe in the way that they are supposed to be helped. Maybe to take it further, like I work in the university and we have students, a population of different ages of students from different backgrounds. That is one of the reasons why I decided, no, let me go and study psychology, because you realize the students come with needs, they come with issues, they come with, they want somebody to hear them in a professional way. And that's what sent me to go and study counseling.
It must be very helpful because you are listening to the students, you are listening to the lecturers, for example, and you are saying to yourself, now I'm able to understand and maybe guide them, because you don't just listen, you listen to guide them by maybe asking them questions that they are failing to ask themselves. That doesn't interfere with like what you initially loved, or does it combine to make your work easy?
Thank you. Thank you for that. That question is very relevant because it makes my work easier. It makes me to stand out, not maybe up there, but just in my work. A student now will prefer talking to me than talking to maybe a dean of students, for example. There are those structures that have been put in place to listen to them. But you realize a student would like, I've talked to so-and-so, but I've been sent to talk to you. Not that I am not practicing counseling at my place of work, but these skills are applicable there. And me, I like it because I gain experience when I reach out to the students, I reach out to my colleagues. It makes me a better person. Now, when I come to my clients, I have a wide experience. I have a wide, knowledge. I have a wide hands-on, whereby now it becomes easier for me. So it doesn't interfere with my career, but it makes my career better. It is an improvement. It's an added advantage to my career.
To your work. And besides that, you go ahead again and decide you're going to become an author, and you have written different books. Does each book address something? Let's start with the first book. Because you are an author and you've written 3 books, 3 different things.
Actually, sometimes I forget that I'm an author. I forget, but thank you for reminding me. Every book why I forget, because it's just the life I lead. Every book was born from what I do. The first book, Bible Basics of Serving as an Usher in the Church. This book was birthed from what I was doing in the church. You know, ushers are the people who are least listened to. In fact, if you go to church, by the way, for those of us who attend church, when the pastor stands to preach, he will say, let us put our hands together for the praise team. Let us put our hands together for the praise and worship leader. But nobody remembers that there is that person who welcomed the people at the doorstep. There is that person who will walk around the most important, valid commodity in the church, the offering basket. They're the ones who are trusted with the monies of the church, but nobody will think about them. So I did that thing many years in the church, and I realized most of the ushers were getting bogged down. They felt they were being looked down upon. Nobody was recognizing them. But I said, wait a minute. I've been an usher for this time, all this time. Nobody has ever given me a microphone to do anything, to lead any prayer, to do nothing, to preach. But I'm seeing the benefits of just serving humanity, serving people, telling people, making people comfortable where they are. And then I realized it's a very nice thing. So now I came up and I was like, I should be able to reach out. So an opportunity arose in my church. The pastor was looking for somebody to wake up the ushering team. And when I spoke to them, just experience. There was no school for ushers. There was no book about ushers. So when I was given an opportunity to talk to them, to speak to them, they were like, why can't you put this thing on CD? And then in a twinkling of an eye, you put it on CD, they say, this thing is scratching, why can't you do a book? Then I did a book, and that's how my first book was published, that easy. So I didn't even realize that I was entering into being an author. Then my second book, The Inspired and Indispensable Secretary. You realize the first book, ushers, are not even recognized. Then now we have the secretary. Actually, secretaries, you know, if your child has failed exam, then you can tell them to go to school to learn secretarial. It is a job that is looked down upon. It's a job that, but very important. It's a key job you get. So I realized it's a very nice job. It's a very nice career, but looked down upon. Then I made up my mind. How can I be an encouragement to secretaries so that they don't, we are just there, you know, as we are not being promoted, and, you know, nobody can promote us, you know, the art secretaries. I said, no, we are also just serving like any other officer. And then I came up with that book. I started looking, how did the secretarial, you know, profession begin, its origin, how now it started fading. And I realized it's a nice thing. It's a nice thing. And my book, after people read that book, they got so encouraged. I get feedback. They're like, oh, I read your book. And your book helped me to start a business. I read your book. My book helped me to go back to school. And I'm like, wow, it's nice. Then my third book was born now through the experience of interacting with the students, clients who were suffering from the biological father wound without knowing. I personally did not look at it as a biological father wound then, but you interact with people and then you realize they are lacking a father. Either the father was absent or they never saw them, or those people whose fathers died, they didn't have a problem. But the people whose fathers were alive and were absent, that was where the problem was. Let me give you an example, if you can allow me. I one time interacted with a client, a 5th-year student who refused to go to class. And he refused to go to class and he resisted therapy. Now, I was brought for this student to just talk to him, probably from a mother perspective. And I'm asking this guy, what is your problem? And then he was like, the issue of my father must be brought forward. And that was his problem. So I walked around, did interviews, you know, just like that, walking around. I went even up to the prison to see those children in the female prison where we have 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds. You know, when I was called to go and speak to women prisoners, I thought they were women my age. So I prepared slides. When I went there, the oldest was 18. She was going to turn 18 the following August. And that was very sad for me. So I booked another appointment to go and do interviews. They allowed me. The story was the same. You talk to women who are really struggling with the issues in life. You dig deep, you explore, it is just further. So that's how I now started doing research. Just nicely, it's not under duress. Just comfortably, I do research here and there, what scientists are saying, what psychology is saying. I interview people, men who have given birth to children that their wives have never seen. And yet they tell you, I am really regretting. Write it in your book, but please don't quote my name because I don't want my wife to know one day. And they're saying, I wish I had access to that my child. I wish. And then I was like, this biological father wound, it is oozing from deep inside our systems, and it's a problem that cuts across right from the state house, from the president to the washroom manager down there. It is it's affecting humanity. It's not something that we can run away and pretend that is not happening. So that is how my books have been born. I have not, sometimes I forget because I have so many books in me that I think I am yet to write. It is monies that are making me not to be able to write those books. But from what Monique was sharing, I think we are going to make more money to write more books. Thank you.
You need to, because those are your training grounds, and that's why you're supposed to be there to assist those people that need your help, and you understand, and maybe that's why you have 3 different books. There are very, very, very many comments, impressive credentials, keep it up. Susan, Daisy, I love your consistent energy and focus. She's always like that, I can assure you. I've been with her closely. She never loses her energy at all. Everyone has a role to play as members of one body work. The foot can not say to the eye, I don't need you. That's true. Yeah, it can say, I don't need you. Every part needs you. Thank you, Daisy. I love your energy and how your books are centered around what you do. It's true. We need energy like Daisy's at virtual ABS. Daisy, they need to borrow your energy and maybe get some desks there. Can you help them? It's that. Daisy, understand our assignment, keep it up. Wow, you have so many comments, very inspiring story, the real truth deep in our society, mental health. Come we make money at virtual ABS so that you can write these books. We need to read them. Daisy, you have nailed it. Father wounds is destroying our society. Wow, you have so many comments. You have so many comments. I love what you've done and how you have translated to make sure that you leave a legacy, and that's what leadership is about, that people can get the help, the light they need from you, and through what you've been doing as the secretary, as a counselor, which all happened without you like saying, I needed to do this, and gladly you embraced all of it. Didn't you feel any challenge? Do you feel sometimes it's too much?
Yeah, too much is too much. I want to say there is that too much, but then that energy is there. The energy for too much is there because the passion is there. Once you are passionate about something, there is this saying that goes, where there is a will, there is a way. Like when I was doing my first book, my second book, I have even written in one of the pages, I was doing my assessment paper for the term. I was busy. I was preparing for an exam, but then I was also writing. So I don't know, I could do my assignments, and then from 10 p.m., then I start writing. I could write, night time is time that you have for yourself. So most of my night times, I used to use them for that. I settle with the babies, I settle with family, and then from between 10 and up to the time I will now get tired, I do that thing. I do my work. So, and in the day, I'm just okay. I also, because I am passionate, so the energy is there. These days, I realize sometimes by around 10, I am dozing off because there is nothing I am doing seriously. I just do my studies, and then up to 10, I go to sleep. But then if you are so passionate and you have whatever that you have in your hand, you will be able to do. If you are passionate about it, the energy will always be supplied naturally. For example, if you want your book out, and this is just about book, it could be business, it could be family, it could be, about whatever you are doing, project. So long as you are passionate about it, I believe the energy will always be supplied naturally.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, energy will be there when you're passionate about what you do. So don't seek for the energy where you are not passionate. Now, the last thing I'd like to ask, what you do tell your younger self?
My younger self, I could tell that girl, please go to school. This thing of stitching papers, you see, right now is when now I am almost 50 years. It's now when I'm now struggling with my master's. And I'm struggling with my master's, and my children are also studying, and I have so many bills to pay. That young girl, please go to school, manage to acquire as many papers as you can at that young age. Of course, it has to be in line with your career. You see me, I've been fumbling. I'm here, I'm there, just trying to look for me. So that young girl, please, girl Daisy, what you do, have a vision. This is what you want to be in life. Pursue that line, if possible, up to the highest. These days, I see very young people at 35, somebody is a professor, not even an associate, a full professor. And I'm like, these are people who now know what they know. They have a vision of what they want to do in life. If you want to be doing business, pursue that line of business. First of all, academically, get the knowledge, first of all, because at the end of the day, you will realize you are empty. It's better when you are going for seminars, attending programs like this platform where we are right now, to just, sharpen yourself than you are looking for academic credentials. You see the difference. So when you come for such on such a platform, you have just come to sharpen your mind, rub minds with other people, but you are adding on what you know. Instead of now, you are looking for a paper to be certified to do this, to be certified to do that. That young girl, please go to school, and go to school very well.
I'm just putting my voice off because there's too much noise. Somebody is asking, do you have virtual books?
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah. Networking is important. And I think somebody was saying, what is another word for take action? Push, just do it, retaliate, counter, move ahead, get underway, prosecute, pursue, set motion, put in motion. I think those are just comments. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that we have actually got you finally for the interview. And I knew one thing for sure, it didn't matter. Even if I didn't give you notice, I knew you do justice to it. God has been faithful that though you missed in the last session, you have something that you can share on what you have shared. We've learned a lot. We have appreciated, and I think when you hear people saying that you have the energy, you have the focus, imagine how motivated you have been and how you're motivating others and challenging others to be as you are. Philip says very knowledgeable sessions and on point presentations. Thank you. Oh, from Coach. These are the gentlemen. They are appreciating you. And thank you so much for setting the time and being able to join us and to share. Any last words before we finish the session?
I am thankful at the end of the day. The way you manage to bring people from all over the world to one platform and help us to learn from them, that one is a congrats to yourself. Because when we interact with these people, I just love, today I didn't even know that I was going to speak. I just wanted to listen and listen and listen. The more I listen, the more I learn. I interact with them. They don't know you are watching them. You are just there, you are watching and you are learning quite a lot. And it is very nice. So the last word I want to part with is keep on doing what you are doing. Maybe right now it may not be showing, but in future it will show, because we will have grown by then and you will be proud that this is the team that you grew up. Thank you so much.